Yep. We're recording? Alright. Hi, I'm Judymay Murphy. I know a lot of you already, and for some of you I'm a brand new person. And I'm literally just in Oslo for one day to speak to some wonderful publishers, and I wanted to take this opportunity while I'm at the Inspirator office to talk to you about the importance of this being an everyday thing. Building your dream being something that you're focused on and having fun with every single day. Because it's so often that we will go to an event. A lot of you have been at Inspirator events throughout the year, and you go home and for the first couple of days you're super excited. You know, you just want to do this and this and this, and then after a while maybe the passion and the excitement wears off a little bit, and you start to get back into the normal grind of things, and you think, oh well, why don't I go to another event? Well, we don't want you to wait until the next event. We're excited to see you again, and we're really, rocking for that. And we want to make sure that you arrive back with us in your best state possible, having achieved as much as possible in that time. So let's just have a little chat today. I know it's a little bit of a one-sided chat, but let's have a chat today about what is it that you can do to remind yourself how great you are, remind yourself how big your mission is here on Earth, and to start taking those steps to instantly make your life better. The very, very first thing is something that I've really been focused on recently, and that is the difference between what they call a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So what are these? A fixed mindset is where someone thinks that things are just going to be the same, that they're going to be as intelligent this year as they were last year, that they're going to make a similar amount of money, that they are going to, maybe do a little bit better in work or lose a little bit of weight. And the challenge with that mindset is that it's a very effortful way to live. It's, if I was to get up every day and think that change was hard or things were inevitable, I honestly think I would lose the will to live. I don't think I could even do a day like that. But the thing is that I have a growth mindset, and I'm very blessed to have that, and a lot of you have that too, and that's why you're listening to me. But sometimes we can slip back into the fixed mindset. So let's imagine that someone gets really excited about having an incredible body, about just being in the best health and fitness that they've ever been in their life, being a great example to their kids, to their extended family, to their workmates, maybe even impressing people as they walk down the street, whatever the reason is that they want to have an incredible body. And for a while they're in growth mindset. So what growth mindset is, it's the belief that when I focus passionately on something, I can make it happen. And in fact, it's been proven that when we do focus passionately on something, the part of the brain that's responsible for that activity, whether that is an intellectual activity, or it could even be something like a negative thought, or it could be that you become physically better at something, or even just getting more excited. The parts of the brain that are responsible for that, when we focus on that thing, those parts of the brain actually grow. They physically grow. So this is proof that self-development works. It's not just an idea and someone got lucky and therefore they became better at money, or they got lucky and therefore their body got better, or they moved somewhere and that's what was responsible for the change. It's proven that the brain actually changes, that the grey matter gets denser and heavier. So when you have a growth mindset, you get really, really excited about becoming brilliant at things, knowing that all you have to do is get excited about it and think about it for even just a small amount of time every single day. I have a morning routine, and I call it my musts and magic. That's just a little name I gave it, and it's stuck. And every morning for between 90 minutes and 2 hours, I also have like a 20-minute version if I've really got to rock through to get on a plane or something. But for most mornings, it's between 90 minutes and 2 hours. And in that time, I focus on everything in my life that I need to become even more extraordinary at. So it might just be 5 minutes of learning French, 5 minutes of learning Spanish. I know I should add 5 minutes of learning Norwegian into that. I will very soon, I promise. And also, just 10 minutes of yoga. People sort of say, well, 5 minutes of Spanish and 10 minutes of yoga, that's not going to make a big difference. But actually it's been proven that when you just take that small amount of time and do it every single day, you get much better results over time than if you focus on it for like an hour on the weekend or 2 hours on the weekend. Why is this? Because it's the daily activity that creates the growth and the change in the brain. And this is what we want for you. We want that daily activity, we want that growth to be real, not something that just appears and disappears. Because what happens when your passion appears and disappears, you get mixed results or no good results at all. And anytime you found yourself going for something and then maybe even really going for it over time and you found it hasn't been happening, usually it's because you've given up just that little bit too early. That your brain was growing, and it was on the brink of being in a position where you now know how to have the discussions that you need to have, you now know how to manage your wealth better, you now know how to dream better. Even dreaming itself is a skill. So this is what we want, is we want you to keep that growth mindset so that every single day you're working on these small things, knowing that that's what leads to the bigger thing, that's what leads to the great result. And of course, let's take it right back to the beginning, because this is my favorite subject of all, and it is dreaming big. For a lot of people, they don't even have the dream to start with. When I was flying out here last night, I got a taxi to the airport. There was a lovely man driving the taxi. He was young, I'd say he was in his late 20s. And of course, you know, the subject of life and dreams always comes up whenever you're with me for any amount of time. And with him, I asked him, you know, is this your ideal job? And he was like, oh, no, not at all. It was so obviously not even close to his ideal job. And I asked him, well, what would you like to do? He didn't even know what his dream was. And that to me is really, really sad, that people become so disappointed. They've tried things so many times and they feel that it hasn't worked, or they feel they've been let down, or they've just been protecting themselves from various pains. Maybe they've had people around them die or become ill. Perhaps it's just, you know, that they got fired from a job and they felt that that was a reflection on who they were, not just a circumstance, and certainly not an opportunity to go on and do something better. And so I really want to make sure that you, A, have a dream, and B, that that dream is big enough for you. Because again, I'm imagining that because you've taken the time to check this out and stick around for this long, that you really do want to make great things happen for yourself and for those that you love. And so let's make sure that you're not walking around with a little dream. Because the thing about little dreams is, people think that if your dream is small enough, then therefore it's easy enough to make it come true. And in fact, it's the other way around. That if you are carrying a dream that's smaller than you are, there's nothing there to juice you. You're kind of waking up in this kind of like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to make this happen, but at least it's doable kind of energy. And that's no kind of energy to be rocking through life with. It really isn't. What you need to have is a dream that's even that little bit bigger than you think you are right now. And then you have to grow and stretch and become that person that can make that dream come true. So this is what I'd like to charge you with today. I'd like to, you know, invite you to have an even bigger dream than the one that you've been carrying. And perhaps you did have a big dream, but you kind of downsized it because you thought that the old one wasn't working out. Trust me, it is on the way. I work with people all the time. This is just what I do. This is my life. This is my mission. And it's the people who are so excited by their dream because the dream is big enough and because it's, you know, it's something that they've never done before and it's something that they have to grow bigger to make happen. This is the dream that has enough excitement in it, has enough juice in it to happen, to get you working towards it every single day. And this is the next part of the equation is, you know, why is it that it doesn't happen? That you've got some people that get super excited and it doesn't happen. Well, for me, the key to that is, who are you surrounding yourself with? I'm really blessed that I've got friends who are like billionaires, who I get to hang out with. And for me, they kind of, you know, I'm really good at investing, making money, building my wealth, building my career. I'm extraordinary at that. And I surround myself with much, much stronger players. Now, why do I do that? You know, I could hang out with people who are doing less well and get to kind of show off a little bit and get to share my wisdom with them and to kind of feel, hey, I'm doing a great job. And I'll admit, sometimes when I hang out with my friends, it's pretty uncomfortable. I'm just thinking about a breakfast meeting I had 2 days ago in London. And it was a little bit uncomfortable because my friend is doing so much better than me when it comes to money. And again, I say I'm doing better than most in the world, and I realize how blessed I am. But because he had this higher standard and because he had grown big enough to create this great wealth, he had a vision of me standing in the same place as he stands in, which is actually usually in a helicopter sitting down. But for him, he had this vision of me, And so he was calling me to that higher place and coming up with great ideas, and we spent an amazing couple of hours. And I'll admit, again, sometimes I felt really, really uncomfortable, and sometimes I doubted and thought, can I do that? But I know that I can, because he's a friend and I'm around him all the time, and if I've got a question, I can go to him with that question. Now, sometimes it's hard to find those great friends, and this is where Inspirator becomes your friend. I adore this company. I work with similar companies all around the world, and Inspirator is particularly brilliant at this, at the supportive nature of what it does. It's all about bringing together not just like-minded people, because you don't just want the people who are as excited as you. You also want to be around the people who have made it happen, and so can, in a practical way, coach you, teach you, explore with you how you're going to make that happen, help and sit through your disappointments with you and sort of say, why did that go wrong, and how can we change it? And this is what we're doing in June. I know a lot of you already have your tickets. I just want to get you so excited that you also, encourage all your friends and family to come along too, because you need them to be in a place where they are even better peers for you. But if you haven't got your ticket yet, please do. And I'm absolutely shameless in selling you tickets. Please buy tickets, because you need to be there. You need to be there because all dreams need nurturing. You might think that, I know what I'm doing and I'm committed right now. And for years, that's what I thought. So I only got to a certain level. I had this great kind of one girl army going on, and was already doing extraordinary things. But it was only when I really, every single week started getting myself around those amazing people, getting myself around coaches who could specifically teach me what I needed to do. We're going to have John Gray there, who was my first great mentor and teacher when it came to passionate relationships. And no matter what you saw on TV where people were saying, oh, John Gray seems to be suggesting that people aren't equal, that is not the case. John absolutely knows that men and women are equal in this world. And he actually takes it to the next level. He says, how can we be equal and also celebrate our extraordinary differences? Because he knows that's where the passionate sex comes from. I'm going to be that blunt about it. So if that's something that's on your list for your amazing dream life, I would suggest that you need to be there just to hear John. I'm going to be there, and I'm all about strategy and all about changing your mindset so that you cannot go back to the old way. I'm all about making sure that the momentum continues to grow, that you keep getting bigger, that you keep holding yourself accountable. Then also we have Brian Main going to be there. He's really good at kind of goal setting and making sure it's done in a very holistic way. So it's not just about, hey, I'll get these 3 dry goals ticked off my list. He really is about making sure that your heart is in it, that your love is in it, that every aspect of who you are as a person gets to grow, not just certain areas. We also have Robin Benincasa, who excites me so much. She's an adventure racer. She is strong, strong, strong. And she was the first person, when I heard her speak 10 years ago, the first person who really put the connection together for me that physical strength, spiritual strength, and mental strength are all one, that they're all connected, and she just lives those at the highest level. She's an incredible woman, and I could go on and on and on. There's just going to be so many great speakers there, and we're going to have a really, really fun time. And what I really want to have not happen is I don't want you to hear about it afterwards and say, oh, I should have been there. And I certainly don't want for you to just never experience the incredible lessons that are needed, because I always find that whenever I can get to somewhere live, it's 100 times better than any book that you can read. And I'm all about books. I've got 7 books in 28 different countries, so I get the importance of a book. But I also know that when you can sit there in front of the author and ask questions and interact with them, and during the breaks we're all going to be around to help you one-to-one, and whatever you want, whether it's just you want to photograph with us or you actually want to sort through something with us, we're going to be there for you. And it's just an extraordinary opportunity. It's the first time it's been done on this scale in Norway. So please come along while it is still, at this scale, because I absolutely guarantee that within a couple of years it's going to be at 10,000 delegates, and you're going to be able to talk about the good old days where you could, sit there in the corridor and talk to Judymay Murphy or John Gray or whoever else. So please be there. I can't wait to meet you, and I say this with all sincerity, that we are all about your success. That's what our mission is. That's what my mission is as a speaker. That's what the mission of Inspirator is. And so please just call up with your questions, call up with if you've got any fears or doubts about it, call up with those, because they've probably heard them before. Or if you're just super excited and you need them to help you to get your family on board, that's also something that they do awesomely. So You know how to get in touch, and I will see you in June, if not before. Have an amazing day and keep making those dreams come true. Right?
Cool!
Do you think that's a good job?
I get
Were you recording? Please tell me.